Okay, so now I'm going to move on to ERNIE.
Okay.
So you have been able to get logged into ERNIE, and I saw that you were able to get in here the last time that you were on campus. So I know you're able to log into ERNIE. When you
Right.
get logged into ERNIE, this is our Embry-Riddle portal. Your students, if they are taking a college credit course and they register for the course, will also have access to ERNIE. If your students do not apply and register for the course that you're offering for college credit, they will not have ERNIE access.
Okay.
So if you are teaching a college credit course, you want to make sure that when the time comes for them to register for the course, that you get them registered ahead of time so that they can have access to ERNIE and all the tools and your Canvas and blah, 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 everything that's offered.
Okay.
Terry Bosma is the person that works with, she's the student services specialist. She will be sending out dates of when you need to register or have your students register for your course. So that's not going to start until school starts. So I wouldn't be concerned about it right now, but I wanted to let you know that they have to register in order for them to be able to have access to ERNIE.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So student registration in order to get on ERNIE. Got it.
Okay. All right. So with ERNIE, there's a lot of tools that come with it that Embry-Riddle offers to students and to their faculty. I always show everybody the opportunities that you can use and the resources that you can use. It's up to you whether you use them or not. I think there's some great resources to showcase and have your students use, because then this is the experience of college life. You know, they have that little taste of how college is set up. So when you get logged into ERNIE, there's a couple of areas that I want to show you. One is departments.
Okay.
Now, under departments, there's several areas that you can see. Now, you'll notice we are a worldwide university, so you'll see that over here on the left-hand side, it has campus, and then you should see Asia, Daytona Beach, Prescott, Singapore, and worldwide.
Right.
We are Daytona Beach. So anytime that if you need to look for something that pertains to our campus, I always tell everybody to check mark the Daytona Beach, and you'll notice that some things will gray out. That means that it's not available on our campus. We are the main campus of Embry-Riddle. However, there's some things that are a little bit different on each campus that's not offered. So if you are looking for something specific, like in an area, like say if you need to go to human resources and talk to somebody about something, you would click on human resources. The reason why I wanted to show you about the departments is because technology is a really big one that I show everybody, because the technology portion of this offers a lot of resources that are pertain to you and students. So I clicked on technology. You'll notice that it's for all campuses. I'm going to click on all campuses link. Now under technology, you'll see that there on the left-hand side, in the course menu on the left-hand side, there's a couple of options to look for. The one area that I always point my instructors to, and I mentioned this last week when I talked to you guys about Canvas, is the software area. I'm going to click on software, and in the software area, you'll see that there are several options that you can look for training purposes. So you'll notice I have academic software, campus solutions, which you're going to be using with Terry with your courses when you submit grades, when you need to register students, yada, yada, yada. You're going to be using this section right here. I do not have access to campus solutions. So sometimes people try to ask me questions about campus solutions, and I always have to refer them to Terry. So I just want to let you know that when it comes to this particular software, I'm not familiar with it because I don't use it in my area. Canvas is an area that I use a lot. And with Canvas, and I don't know if you remember last week when I told you guys, whenever you go to ask me a question about how to do this, how to do that, I usually refer you to the Canvas. and I send you the link. This is where I get it from, is this section right here, Canvas.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So then there's also ERNIE sites that you can look at. You might be using Oracle eBusiness in the near future, Microsoft software. I'll show that to you in just a minute, how you can actually access that. Okay, so let's just click on Canvas so you can kind of get a feel of what it looks like. So in Canvas, you'll notice that there is student resource training and there's faculty resources and training. So the faculty resources and training, when I was telling you guys last week, where I normally will copy and paste the link, is in this guide right here. And what I like about it, it really gives you a breakdown of everything that you would need. So let's just say that you wanted to know about modules, because we do use modules in every single one of our courses. And you'll notice that when I clicked on modules, I have a ton of areas that I can look at.
Wow.
Yes. So, but the other thing that I like about it is that, let's say, how do I add a module? So I click on how do I add a module, and it really does a nice job of giving you pictures, and it gives you a nice job of the instructions that go along with it.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so I wanted to show you that it does break it down for you when it comes to showing you what you want to look for. Some of our instructors normally do not get heavily involved into Canvas until after the first year. I don't like to overshow you a bunch of stuff in Canvas just because I don't want to overwhelm you. It's a new system for you to learn, along with ERNIE and registering and doing
right.
So, but I did want to show you, some of our instructors like to have a little bit more than what is normally provided. So I just wanted to give you that option and show you that it is there. Okay.
Yeah, and
All right,
plus I can do the self-paced course too, right?
Right. And actually, a lot of those links that are in that self-paced course is going to take you to something like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to give you a back end on how you can find stuff. And you'll also notice that, like, it's even broken down in some main groups here that for you to look like how to assignments. So if you click on the assignments there, it's going to take you to that assignments page, and it's going to show you, like, how do I add an assignment? How do I do this? How do I create an assignment? How do I, because some of our instructors like to build everything in Canvas and actually have their students submit their work in Canvas. And if you got to where you were super like Canvas savvy, you can actually even have Canvas grade the paper for you. It's kind of cool.
Wow.
It really is. And normally, like, what happens if you build your course like that to where it's your students can be self-sufficient, you kind of just sit back and just let the course take care of itself, with the students. So it's kind of cool. So, but like I said, I don't want to overwhelm you. I just wanted to let you know that there are those options for future.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to ERNIE. And you'll notice that I have some other breadcrumbs that are up here. And typically and normally, I don't always use them. And I'm in ERNIE all day, every day. But I wanted to let you know that there are some of those little breadcrumbs that are up here that you can click on if you wanted to check them out on your own. Yes, there are some training options. The training options are not through me. The training options are from the university.
Oh.
So sometimes when something comes along that I think that would benefit our faculty, you will receive that same email I do in your Embry-Riddle email. And I'll show you how you can check that in just a minute. But I also forward it on too, because not everybody checks their Embry-Riddle email.
Okay.
I'm going to click back on the ERNIE tab up here on the left-hand side. Just know it will take you back to ERNIE when you click on ERNIE in the left-hand corner.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so this is our splash page. It's like our home page. And in the home page, you'll notice that we have some pictures that will run through. They change this every so often. It keeps you up to date with the cool stuff that the university's doing. Sometimes you'll even see our department that's in there too. So just anytime you go to open it up, I always like to thumb through the thumbnails here just to take a look through it. You'll see that sometimes you'll see stuff about NASA. You'll see stuff about NASA, SpaceX, anybody that's new in our department or in our university. It's kind of cool, so you can look through those and click on them if you want to. There's also the news feed that's right here that has announcements. Over here on the left-hand side, this pertains to pretty much you. And when it comes to the university, you'll notice that, the holiday calendar's there, parking, blah, 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 password, this is pretty much your stuff that's on the left-hand side that pertains to you. On the right-hand side is one of my favorite parts that I always show all of our instructors too. These are the great resources and tools that the university offers to you and your students. So keep this in mind when you get ready to start teaching and you want students to have more resources that you would like to show them. This is a great area for you to show that. So yours might look a little bit different because I have more tools that are set up on the right-hand side here than I do, than some others do, because I use a lot of them. If you want to look at all the tools that are offered, you'll notice that you can personalize your tools by clicking on the little gear flower. And then under my tools, you'll notice that you'll have some tools that will come up and you can choose from. Lynda.com, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Lynda.com, but it pretty much has any kind of software training that you would be interested in to know. 9 times out of 10, whatever you're looking for will be there for you. For instance, Adobe Photoshop is something that is used in one of our courses and our UAS courses. With Adobe Photoshop, instructors can come in here and they can do the self-paced training on their own in lynda.com. This is a free option for you and your students to learn. So let's just say you don't know much about PowerPoint, or your students don't know how to use a PowerPoint or how to build a PowerPoint. They can actually find that in lynda.com to help them out with learning how to use that software. If you wanted to learn something about how to put together something in CS files or CS essentials, you can click in there and it'll give you that option to be able to learn that. So that's just lynda.com. A lot of people don't take advantage of it. It's a great resource. It's a great tool for you to learn how to do some kind of new software, and it breaks it down, gives you the video, gives you a printout of what the training is on.
That's nice.
It is very nice. You'll notice that we have Canvas here. We're going to go over that in just a minute, but I wanted to let you know that you can choose that option to show up on your splash page on your dashboard. So anything you check mark, it's going to show up. IT self-support. I always give the phone number for IT if there's something that I can't help you with, and I say you have to contact ERIU IT. This is the same thing. You can always submit your own ticket instead of calling them, because sometimes calling them doesn't always work out too. So that's the option right there. An awesome resource I'm also going to go over is Hunt Library towards the end of this tutorial. This is our library that we have here on campus. It's called Jack Hunt Library. You'll see it when you come to campus in July. It's a beautiful 2-story library they just included in the new student center. And they offer a lot of online resources that you and your students can use in your teachings and in your classroom. You can find videos that are in there. You can find magazines, journals, articles. You could say, hey, I want you to write a paper on flight and the history of flight, and students can actually go and use some resources that are in the Hunt Library to find that outside of whatever they're going to have. So that's there for you too.
Nice.
So some of these other tools, you'll notice that I don't have checkmark because I don't use them myself. We use Eagle Vision here at Worldwide. It's another online web conferencing, video conferencing tool that actually Worldwide uses. So just so you know, that's there as well. And there's just a bunch of other stuff. MATLAB is used in engineering. You might get rave alerts if you wanted to have, if you were somehow got signed up with rave because you're going to be with Embry-Riddle. It's our emergency system here on campus. It's kind of a pain, but it's nice to have at the same time. You can have it to where they can text you and email you and call you. And sometimes it automatically sets it up for you. So if you want to take it off, this is where you would go to have that done.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a ton of tools here that you'll notice that Embry-Riddle offers. Okay.
Yeah, a ton.
A ton. ones that I would suggest for you to get familiar with is ERU apps, Campus Solutions, and definitely Canvas. So I
Okay.
would have those checkmarked for yourself. I also liked and recommend lynda.com, Eagle Images. I'm going to show you that at the end of this tutorial, as well as Hunt Library. So those are ones that I always suggest to people to start off with. Okay?
Okay, very good.
All right, I'm going to go back to my dashboard, which is ERNIE dashboard. I'm going to click on the left-hand side of the upper left-hand corner. Now, the other really important area too is you will notice that we have some tools that are up here on the right-hand side.
Right.
One area that's really important is your email. That's your Embry-Riddle email. And another area that's really important is your little globe here. It's called My Followed Sites.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to click on the email, and my email is going to open up. And but I wanted to show you if you wanted to forward any email from Embry-Riddle correspondence, you can actually forward it to your personal email or your school email.
Oh, yes, definitely want to do that.
Some people like to do that, and some people don't, because a lot of times the university email does send a lot of junk. So some people don't like to do that, but I always like to show you this option. I think I believe I did also put it in the basics in Canvas, Ernie, but I will go through it for you real quick. It is located over here on the right-hand corner. You'll have your little gear flower. When you click on that, it's going to open up another window, and you're just going to come down to where it says Mail on the lower right-hand corner.
Okay.
And another little window is going to come up over here on the left, and you're going to have drop-down menus, and you want accounts and then forwarding. You could start forwarding your email by clicking on it, and then you can put the address that you want in there.
Awesome.
Okay, so that's the gear shift, mail, forwarding, and then start forwarding. You could do it that way.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. So while we're in here, another really cool thing that for you to know is that Embry-Riddle also offers Office 365 to faculty. So with that being said, you might not know what Office 365 is, and you might know what Office 365 is. If you don't know what Office 365 is, it's basically having a cloud version of Microsoft Office products at your fingertips. So if say you are in Daytona Beach and we're going through a training and you say, hey, Janine, I have this PowerPoint I want you to look at. If you have it in your cloud-based PowerPoint in 365, you could show me anywhere. You can go anywhere in the lab and show me. If you were out in Arizona and you wanted to work in that same PowerPoint and you saved it in your 365 through Embry-Riddle, and you didn't have your computer on you, but you were at the hotel office there and you wanted to add something, if you opened up your PowerPoint in 365, it will open up for you.
Wow.
So a cloud-based Microsoft products at your fingertips that you can use. You'll be saving your stuff, whatever you have, to your, I call it a U drive, but it's actually called OneDrive. With Embry-Riddle. So I just opened up Microsoft Office. It takes a couple of minutes for it to come up, but it's basically, you know, it looks like just like if you had your own personal Microsoft Word account.
And it works on Apple too, right?
Yes, this is all cloud-based, so it will work on Apple and just like it would on any Office product. I'm sorry, any Microsoft product.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay, so you'll notice it's taken a while because it is cloud-based. I think we're getting some bad weather over here. So it's just sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So you'll notice I have some things that are here already that I have in my OneDrive folder, but let's just do a new document, new blank document. I think I might have accidentally opened up something. So I'm gonna just go back up here and I'm just gonna do a new blank document. And whatever you work on, it's gonna automatically save in that template. that we just had there. How I showed you, like I have a bunch of stuff that's already in there.
Yeah.
Let me close this one out. So you'll notice that it's the basic stuff, but you can add your own tools to it if you wanted to, and it's there for you. So I'm just gonna type in hello, file, come on. So if I wanted to save as, I can name it. I'm gonna name it hello. You could also save it to your own stuff if you wanted to. You'll notice that, look, location, Janine P. Neal, document, save. It's gonna
Nice.
for me. Okay, so that's there for you. That's the options that you have in your, hello. So you'll see that eventually it will show up here. It just takes a few minutes. There are tons of apps that you can look at and look through. Whenever I send out a newsletter, I usually try to send one out every quarter. I actually use Sway. It's a great way for us to send out correspondence via internet, and I can add some really cool tools to it. That's just another one that I use. You'll notice that we have PowerPoint, Word, Excel. There's other apps that you could choose for many kind of forms. So those are at your fingertips. Just I wanted to show you that you have Office 365 that is offered to our faculty. Remember that how to get there, it was that little world globe on the ERNIE page dashboard next to the email icon, letter icon. There's that little globe that was right there.
Okay, got it.
All right. So the next thing I want to just go through is Canvas, which I'm sure you've been biting at the bit to look through some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So Canvas is the way that I offer our curriculum here on campus to our instructors that are out in the field. If your student is not registered for a course in Embry-Riddle, they are not going to have access to your Canvas
Got it.
course section. Now, what is offered to you in Canvas right now is the Sandbox. The Sandbox is like if I gave you a USB and I handed it to you last week and said, here's all our curriculum. It's similar to that. It's just not on a little USB. It's offered via Canvas. So you'll notice that I have several courses on my dashboard. What opens up when you open up Canvas is your dashboard. You have to set your courses that you want to look at in your dashboard. You will probably only have 2 or 3.
Right.
Okay. If you can't find the course that you are looking for on your dashboard, and I get this a lot, I can't find my course, I can't find my course. You'll notice that on the left-hand side, there's a course menu. You'll notice that there's courses on the left-hand side, and then you'll see all the courses that are associated with you. So you'll notice I have a bunch here. If you still can't see your course right there, you'll notice that you'll have one that says all courses. You shouldn't have to get to that point, but sometimes you might have to. So you'll notice that I have a ton of courses that I work with throughout with all of our instructors.
Right.
That's why I usually try to put the most important that I want on my dashboard. To do that, you'll notice that there's a little star on the left-hand side. Some are colored or not. So if you wanted to put it to where when you go to open up Canvas and you see your course right away, you're going to press the star.
Got it.
Okay. So right now, there should be a couple of courses that you have on your dashboard. One should be 15 GAI Instructor Guidance. I'm going to go through these courses in just a minute. Another one should be 17 GAI AS 120 2016 Textbook Sandbox.
Yep.
And another one should be 18 GAI Canvas Instructor Training.
Okay.
And then you might have some miscellaneous ones like FERPA and some other HR stuff.
Okay.
And you might even have an AS 220. I'm not sure just yet if you've been invited to that one just yet. I might have held off because I wanted to make sure that you are all set for right now.
Yeah, I'm certified. I sent that into Marguerite, I think, my license, a color copy of my license they want for my file, I think. So I send that in. I faxed it yesterday, I think, or the day before.
Just remember that everything takes forever here on the university side. So if you sent it in yesterday, I can guarantee you it's not through yet.
Okay, that's fine.
But I didn't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of courses, and you might not, and you don't need it at this second. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
But AS 220, you're not teaching until spring, and
right.
you'll get it before you start in the conference. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to show you. So the way our courses are in Canvas, Sandboxes, you'll see it says Sandbox. That just means that this is a placeholder for our curriculum that we offer to our instructors. It has the word Sandbox in it. You'll also notice the number at the beginning of the title. That means that was when it was created, was the year. So you'll notice that 15 GAI, it was created in 2015. If it's been updated, the date would change. So for instance, I know that the 120 course was updated in 2017 with the latest version of the textbook. So that's how it was labeled in the title. So that's why it says 17. We have a couple that are 19. They just started this year, like the AS 237. So that's where the number comes in. GAI is Gates Aerospace Institute.
Okay,
AS 120 or AMS 117, that's the title of the course acronym and number here on campus. So AS 120, you are enrolled in because that's the one that you're going to be teaching.
right.
Okay, so you'll notice 17 GAI, AS 120. It says 2016 textbook Sandbox. The course monitor, Dr. Murphy, requested to make sure that we put that in there so we knew that was the latest version of the textbook.
Good.
Okay, so the 15 GAI instructor guidance, everybody that's associated with us is in this course. This is where we house all of our tutorials in the past, as well as any instructor resources or any student resources that you might need for them. Students do not have access to this. They will not have access to this. This is strictly a one-on-one between our department and our instructors.
Oh, good.
Okay? This is just where we house our training and our additional resources for you. We try to keep the instructor resource up to date every year because those change because of important dates that are happening. Any enrollment and registration procedures, for some reason, it seems to always change too. And then there's also Campus Solutions. We have an instructor handbook we'll be passing out. As of right now, I think we're going to be giving those out this year at the at the annual conference, but that is there for you too. So if you have any questions about the faculty, it's there. Or
Awesome.
your responsibilities, okay? Student resources, those we try to update as much as possible too. It has some stuff for them that you could print out or showcase to them, how to enroll in a course, how to drop a course, things like that, consent form, yada, yada, yada. The student policies handbook, things like that, that's there for them. Remember, students do not have access to this, so you would have to download that. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so in the modules tab, and I want you to notice this on the left-hand side, this is called a course menu. In the modules tab, all of our courses are set up the same way. We have everything located under modules. And we're going to look at the AS 120 course in just a minute. So in this 15 GAI instructor guidance course, you will notice that there is curriculum training that has already been offered in 2019. This is this spring. So these courses right here that I'm circling, I know that you're not teaching those as of this fall and spring, but in the future you might.
Okay.
We will be offering training before that happens, Anthony. So I just wanted to show you that it will be labeled with the date on there. You'll notice that here I have 2019 spring curriculum. This happened. I usually try to do a semester before you're going to go teach it. So even though it says spring curriculum, these happened in the fall, like normally around November, December.
Okay.
Okay. You'll notice that last year we have 2018, 2019 curriculum. So you'll notice the last one that was with Dr. Murphy is this AS 120 June 11th. So that was a year ago. I would recommend for you to go back and look at this one because he does a really great, awesome job and overview of how the curriculum, how he's taught it in the past, the expectations of students at the high school level because they are considered college.
Right.
He goes through that. It's like a 2-hour training that he offered.
That's nice.
I usually try to do that every year. This year he's unavailable at this time. We might try to get something together before school starts, but he's pretty much gone for the summer.
Okay.
Okay, so I would highly suggest if you can go back and review that, that would be.
Yeah, so that's historical, but it's good to look at that because.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Same with 220. It's good to go back and just take a look at it. I think Sam just reviewed things real quick. Now, 120, I have some instructors that have been teaching this course for us for several years. They will be offering a panel discussion and best practices here during the annual conference.
Nice.
So they're not necessarily going to go through the actual curriculum, but they're going to say, hey, this worked for me in my classroom and I want to share it with you. So I have 2 hours of that in that annual conference. And then AS 220, even though you're not scheduled to teach it in the spring, Sam is going to take a couple of hours and just review with our new instructors on the curriculum and the expectations with USI and all of that good stuff. That will be happening at the conference. But I wanted to show you as far as the training in the past that we've offered via Zoom is in here in the guidance and instructor guidance. This training right now that we're doing will be showcased in here too.
Okay.
Eventually, I'll have it either today or tomorrow, but it will be in there. You'll see, it'll say ERNIE and Canvas Basics because I want to put it in there for other instructors.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, next thing, we're going to go through the AS 120 course. So I'm going to come back over here to courses, or if you have it in your dashboard, I know I have it in my dashboard. I'm going to click on my dashboard. Remember, if you want to have it located there, you're going to go to courses and you're going to star it.
Star it, right.
Okay. All right. So I'm in my dashboard and I'm going to find mine and I think it's down here. Okay, now with the sandboxes, you can't make any changes to the sandboxes. You'll even say, do not make any changes to this course. You should not have that option anyway, because I just went in there and I made some changes to your role. You should be able to still see everything, but you're just not going to be able to make any differences or any changes or delete anything out or add your name, and that happens sometimes. Okay, this is just like remember, if I handed you a USB, you and open up your USB, is pretty much set up the same way.
Okay.
Okay, so here is the older recording, and I probably will be taking that out because it is a couple years old, but it's still the same content that Dr. Murphy's gone over. It is showcased and housed in the instructor guidance course that I just showed you, but everything else is also in here too. Dr. Murphy has done an excellent job with offering an enormous amount of curriculum for this course. He has written it out to a 90-day course. Here on campus, instructors meet with students normally 3 times a week, 1 hour at a time. So that's only 3 hours a week, where high school instructors normally meet with their students almost 5 hours a week. Here on campus, our classes don't start until the end of August, and they're usually over at the beginning of December. So you'll know that there's an extra 5 to 6 weeks in the high school level compared to the college level. Wow. So Dr. Murphy actually has incorporated and included additional resources on top of what the campus offers here. So he's the course monitor here on campus. So he's taken whatever he teaches here on campus and then he added to it. So you will notice that there is a lot that you can go through and you could take a look at and you can review and use in your classroom. So if I were to hand you the USB and you got the USB and you opened it, pretend that these are folders. And the folder name would be README and suggested course materials list, blah, blah, blah. So when you go to click on it, it's going to open for you.
Okay.
Syllabus, MCOs. So the MCOs are the master course outline that is required for you to cover in your classroom. So if you do everything that Dr. Murphy has in here, you are definitely covering the master course outline. So I'm going to click on that. Let's say if I wanted to look at it, you have the option of downloading it. And it's going to show up here. Here's this course description. Here are the goals. Here's the learning outcomes.
Nice.
Yada, yada. Okay. You can go back. Okay, and then let's look at the syllabus. So you'll notice that with the syllabus, I would highly recommend, I've had some instructors go, what's the syllabus at the end of the semester? And I'm not kidding. So I'm like, well, how do your students know what your expectations are of the class if you've never even passed anything out, you know? So it's already here for you. You just have to download it and you can add your 2 cents to it. I am highly recommending and suggesting that you do not change the grading because the grading is supposed to stay the same. If it says that there's a final, you should be given a final. Pretty much everything in here should stay the same as what it is on campus because remember, you are teaching for every riddle.
Right.
Okay, now there might be a couple of things that you might want to add or you might want to change up. Like, I mean, you might not be a stickler about food and drinks in your classroom, you know, Dr. Murphy is, you know, I mean, so that is up to you. But I'm suggesting that you don't change any of these extra, you know, the weighted grades and things like that because it is the same course. Okay?
Yeah.
That's there for you. And you'll notice up here you can download it that way. I'm going to click the back button. Okay, so here he has the 90-day high school class plan, and he's done a really great job with step-by-step. Day 1, do this. Day 2, do this. Day 3, do this. And not all of our instructors have done that. He's like one of 2, I think, that has done this for us. So you'll notice, like, here's this. Here's an AOPA assignment. Here's the term paper. The briefing assignment. You know, so he did a really nice job.
Yeah, that is nice. Very nice.
Then he's got, you know, the quiz right here, and I'll show you something in just a minute too. Okay, so that's all there for you that you could take a look at. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, some of our instructors don't do these additional AOPA assignments and term papers. It didn't work for them. I like them myself, especially these AOPA ones. If you can, I would highly recommend researching it first if you choose to use it. With the AOPA, they have some great videos and short tutorials that you can have your students complete on their own, and then they can write a paper on it or whatever, complete the assignment. But it really coincides and correlates with what Dr. Murphy has paired it up with. So VFR into IMC, I mean, that's a part of this topic right here. So this, he was like, oh, AOPA already has something that just reiterates additional, you know, what I have. AOPA is all online. It has it right in there how to get to it and how to open it up and where to go. So a lot of instructors don't use it. Remember, you have 90 days. You know, it might be something that if you don't want to cover it in class, they can do it on their own for extra credit or whatever. It's up to you. But I wanted to show you that and let you know that that's there.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to go back.
It's nice that Dr. Murphy put all this on here for us. I mean,
oh, it's great. It's great. I'm hoping that he'll be able to offer some kind of training because he's probably one of my favorites here on campus. He's a lot of fun and he's just a great teacher. My own son is a student here on campus and he actually took his class last semester and he's like, he's a really good teacher. You know, I'm like, I didn't even really talk to him about him because I wanted to see what he had to say about Dr. Murphy on his own, you know, and he would just kept saying it, and at the end, he's like, he's just a really good instructor. Like, I really enjoyed his class.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's PowerPoints, and I'm not going to lie to you. His PowerPoints are probably like 100 slides long, and so he built it out for him. You want to go through it and look at it and see what works for you. Some of our instructors went in and they just redid their own PowerPoints. So I wouldn't wait till the night before to say, okay, tomorrow's flight manuals. I need to just open it up and take a look at it. You will notice that they're almost all of them are 100 slides long. And he built them for his classroom. This is going to be your classroom. So you want to make sure.
You can modify that lesson. You can still call it lesson part 9, but you put an M after it or something to show that you modified it.
No, you're not modifying anything in the sandbox. So what you would do is you would open up the PowerPoint. So let's say you want to look at class 2. See how it says open up and save?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see that right there where I'm circling?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So then you would save it onto your own desktop.
Oh, okay.
You make changes that way.
Okay.
Okay. So this is where I was talking about if you wanted to build your own Canvas sandbox and house it in there for future, you can do that. And I'm going to go over that in just a minute. So that's where you would save it onto your own desktop, and then you build your own Canvas course to where next year it's already built for you, and then all you would have to do is just copy it over and, you know.
That's nice. Yeah. Once it's done and you're happy with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So some of my instructors have done that. So every year they have shared with me, and I'm going to show you in just a minute too, what they've shared with me. They've actually built in quizzes to where they're housed in here, but they're also going to show up in your student course sections. So if you want them to take that quiz in Canvas, it automatically grades for you. So we have some of those quizzes that are offered on Canvas for them to take, or you can offer them in pencil paper. It's up to you.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So that's where I was showing you that you would go in and you would make those changes for that PowerPoint.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go back. And these are all lessons, you know. If I clicked on weather, you're going to have, I think there's like 3 PowerPoints in there if I remember right. Oh, there's just the one. So you would click on that. It's going to ask you if you want to download it or save it, and you would save it and make the changes that you would want.
Nice.
Okay, and then that's just PowerPoints, and then you have lecture and handouts. He talks about APA. He's a big stickler about APA. I try to push the APA with our instructors, but not all of them use it. I really think it's a big resource that students need to learn and know about college, that, you know, plagiarism and all that kind of stuff should be taken seriously. So it's there for you. He has gone through it in there. He's got some really great experiments and worksheets. Some might seem a little elementary, but it really provides the topic and the objective of what he's teaching or what he was teaching. So go through those too, and you could, you know, on a fun Friday or whatever, you can go through some of them as well.
Yeah, I want to look at that one that said foil sim. I wonder what that's about.
That one, I've looked at it several times. It's been really difficult for me to try to learn it myself, but it's there for you to use.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now here's where the quizzes I was telling you about. So these are the paper versions of the quizzes with the answer keys. Remember, students do not have access to the sandbox. All right. So that you don't have to worry about them having the answer.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay. So then there's the final there as well.
Now, there's a way for me to download these quizzes so they have access to the quiz.
Yes. So I'm going to go that in just a second. So if you want to download it yourself and have it yourself, and you want to make some changes on those quizzes, you would have to download it first, make the change, and then you're going to upload it into your student course section. And I'm going to show you that.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to show you that you can download it. You can make some changes, blah, 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 blah. Now, these same quizzes are offered in quizzes over here on the left-hand side in your course menu. So what I want to mention too, and I hate to come out of this, but I'm going to, I want to mention that when your student course section is created, it's not going to happen on day one when school starts, because remember, you have to get your students registered and you have to be in the system. And some of our instructors, they luck out and they might find it there on day one or a couple days before in Canvas. They might not get it for 3 weeks. Since you are kind of ahead of the game, I think you might be one of the ones that you might actually luck out and you're going to see your student course section. How you're going to find it or how it's going to show up is that it will show up in your courses, and it might even show up on your dashboard, but if not, it'll show up in all courses. It's going to look something similar to I think that's probably going to be my best bet right there. I used to have a really good example.
I'm surprised they don't list these by course number, you know, alphabetically in a series like 120, 220.
Well, for me, it's different because I have administration rights. So administration rights, so mine are, I'm a little bit different. Okay, so it's going to look something similar like this. It's not going to say Sandbox on it. It's not going to say template on it. It's going to have something like, oh, here you are, perfect. It's going to say something like AS 120, Set A, Set C, Set B, whatever, Principles of Aeronautical Science, RESFA 19 in person. It'll say something like that.
Okay.
That's your student course section. Okay. So when your student course section is created, it should have all of the course content that we just went through in your course. But it should not have like your final exam answer key should not be published. It should not show up. Okay. But I always tell my instructors, you always want to check that. Remember that your student course section is not going to be created until the beginning of school. Students are not going to show up in it right away because remember they have to register for your course. They have to apply and register. So it's going to take some time. So for you to know that it's your student course section, I always tell my instructors to go to people, and when you go to people, you'll start seeing student names in there.
Okay.
You'll know that that's your student course section. Quizzes will show up automatically, automated. So if you want to say, hey, Johnny, I know you're going to be absent Friday, but I still want you to go in and I want you to take Module 2 quiz, and then when they go to take it, it's going to populate and they can actually take it online. They can take it own time, whatever. Okay. So that's going to be in there. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that student course sections are not going to be created until the beginning of the school year. It should populate everything that's in similar to the Sandbox. This is where you can make changes to your course section if you wanted to. This is your course section. Okay. So if you wanted to go in and make changes to, like this person right here, Dave Marks actually did that. He went in and he made this himself. And he copies this over every semester. This is what he does. So he goes in and he made some changes to it. He built his course. He's made his stuff work for him.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where you would build that. That's where you would make the changes for your course. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you is you should have a Sandbox that has your name on it. And I put this in the email about the self-paced Canvas instructor training course.
Right.
So you should have a Sandbox. Everybody gets provided. Sometimes IT makes it and sometimes they don't. And that's why I want you to make sure you have it. If you don't have it, you want to go in or you need to let me know and I will make sure you get a Sandbox. So if you go into all courses, you should see Anthony Paletti Sandbox in all courses. It should say your first name, last name, and Sandbox. So if you start making some changes, Anthony, and for AS 120, and you start downloading those PowerPoints and you make those changes, you can upload it into your Sandbox and we can copy it over into your student course section when it's ready.
Okay.
Okay, but don't overwhelm yourself trying to get that done this year. I want you to make sure that you're comfortable with finding your content, being able to download it, being able to use it. If it's 100 slides and Dr. Murphy's, don't overwhelm yourself to make it perfect this year. use what he has and make it work for you for what he has.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because he did a nice job. So I can see modifying a little, but not much until
Right.
I get used to doing it.
Right, exactly. So I'm just going to go back in here. So with Dr. Murphy's, he's got everything set up, PowerPoints, assignments, lectures, experiments, quizzes and exams. These are all paper-based. Some of the movies, I can't remember right, but we might not have gotten them to work correctly and well. But you pretty much can find whatever you're looking for on YouTube. So if you wanted to do a VFR to IMC, if you YouTube it, you'd be shocked. I even think Embry-Riddle has a YouTube channel that has all that kind of stuff, those lessons.
Wow, that's nice.
So just keep that in mind, and they're snippets, so not like an hour long. They're like, 20 minutes of show or 20 seconds of showing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. So remember that Sandbox, if it's got the Sandbox at the end, you can't make any changes to it. It won't let you. It should not let you.
How about my Sandbox? Will my Sandbox say Sandbox at the end of it?
Yep, yours should say Sandbox at the end of it. And so let's look at it. Let's look for it right now and see. If you don't have it, I'll make it right now for you.
I think I'm trying to think if I have one. I can't remember if I saw it in there or not.
I got to remember to take this out of the recording. Sandbox. Yep, there you are.
Oh, good. Awesome.
So let's just make sure that you are invited, because sometimes when you're not invited to it, it doesn't show up. Yep, there you are. Actually, you even opened it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure I've been in ERNIE and I've kind of been hunting around and stuff. So.
Okay, so any questions about Canvas?
No.
Okay.
And this is a
Does that
good.
help you out a little bit? You feel a little bit.
Yeah, good introduction. And I'm going to go take that course to feed me into this even more.
Yes. Yes.
To be done by, I think it said July 25th or something, to get credit or something.
Yes. So what we do is we offer CEUs here at the university. And what I usually do is I create all of the CEUs for the year. So you might get like 6 or 7 CEUs, certificates. It'll have the time on it. If you plan on, some of our instructors work for the state of Florida for the DOE, and they require, I think, 120 hours of professional development every 5 years. So with that being said, they have to accumulate hours. So for our annual conference, they'll receive roughly 20 CEU hours, which is equivalent to 20 hours of professional development through the state of Florida.
Nice.
So I create CEU certificates to provide. So for that boot camp that you were here last week, you received, I think it was 4 CEUs.
That's nice.
Yes. So you'll get those certificates usually like in the fall, because I wait until after the annual conference, and we get them signed by the provost and blah, blah, blah. So you'll receive those too. One last thing I wanted to show you too, before we conclude, is that over here in the tools side, you'll notice that there's Hunt Library and then there's Eagle Images. I like to show these two to the instructors because students will have access to this too. So let's just say you have Johnny working on a PowerPoint presentation and you say, hey, Johnny, make sure that you get some images from Embry-Riddle that showcases what an altimeter looks like and maybe what the panel of the plane looks like. Yes, they could pull it off the internet, but they can also look at some of the images that are offered at Embry-Riddle. We also put our department, anytime we ever have anything associated on campus here, like senior dinner or any kind of conference, things like that, we put them in here. We also have a folder in here as well. There are
No.
also the other universities are on here too, and it's just a bunch of hodgepodge of pictures. Like here we are right here, Gates Aerospace Institute. I use a lot of College of Aviation. I use actually Eagle Images a lot because it just showcases our area. We have flight training too, so even if you wanted to go in and show some stuff, like I think there's like, I remember there's one area where it shows all the tools and stuff. I can't remember exactly.
Nice. That's very
But
nice.
that's Eagle Images. So you have an opportunity and an option to look at that stuff. Hunt Library, we're actually going to have some training for our new instructors on how to use Hunt Library from the actual librarians of the Hunt Library at the conference. There's so much that they offer. I can't even get through it myself and look at everything, but they do a really good job of showcasing what is offered through the Hunt Library here and how you can research it. But I wanted to let you know that there is that option that's there for you to use too.